Obviously got the 2 new kids out there. What are your initial impressions of them after one practice?
They looked a little nervous early, to be expected. But yeah, you can, it's one practice for an hour or so, but you can see the skill set on Kent there. He's got some pretty good hands. He's got good pace. So Nick, same thing. He's not a big guy, but you can tell he's assertive. But again, we're going off one hour practice. So yeah, I thought they did just fine today.
Do you watch them more than a normal player at this point, just to kind of see how they're settling in, see how they handle these types of things, or do you give them some space? Do you talk to them? I guess as a coach, what's kind of your approach to making sure that they're ready to handle all this and go into the lineup if that's the case?
Well, I can't be sure of any of that, but I will communicate with them. We've talked and try to get to know them as quick as I can. Kind of hear them speak first. I think that's important. What they bring to the game, what they bring to the table, what their foundation is, and then let them know what our expectations are as being a Blue Jacket, what that looks like, what that feels like, practice habits, all those things. So we're day one. There's a long ways to go, but we'll do the best we can to try and help them.
You now have 10 defensemen on the roster. You've probably got a lot to work through there, but do you have a sense of how you're going to try to handle that and maybe try to get Nick in, or just handling 10 defensemen basically at this point?
Yeah, I got a good sense what we're going to do.
Save that for later.
I'll let you know who's in the game on Wednesday.
Sounds good. You kind of mentioned this after the game the other night, but talking about veterans and your big players being, the guys that kind of have to carry the load, especially with so many guys out. And I think that top line really had a good game. I mean, were you really happy and pleased with the way you really cut down the roster by the end of that game, the way that those top guys really handled things on Saturday?
Yeah, I thought first effort. We've talked about a lot with the group. I'm not here to coach effort. I mean, that's required. That should be just a staple in who we are and part of our foundation. So that was the frustrating part of the 2 games against Philly. And I get it. I know it's hard. It's hard to dig deep and go, but we can't let up. And you saw in that Philly game, we just tried to play and you lose 4-1. We can't play that way. So we're going to push all the way through, and the leaders have to be the guys that are going to take charge of this. And that doesn't leave the rest of the guys off the hook. That just means, that's why they are the leaders. And so as far from an effort standpoint, I thought it was pretty good. I thought we were engaged in that game. There's plenty to clean up as far as mistakes and some details, and I think these 2 days of practice are good for that. We haven't had a lot of practice time in the last probably 3 weeks, really. So to get a couple of practices, I'm sure they don't love it, but as coaches, it's nice to be able to touch on some things, and tomorrow we're going to hit some more detail stuff and get ready for Wednesday.
We'll go to Zoom. Go ahead, Cordy.
Thanks, Glenn. Hey, Brad, you've got 2 significant centers out of your lineup right now. Don't know about Corrali for Wednesday, but Jenner and Corrali, at least for today. How tempting is it to put Johnson in there in the middle, or how much do you want to protect him early on by starting him on the wing?
Well, he's played 2 years at the wing, and I'm not saying he can't play center, but I'm going to start him on the wing. I think that's the wise thing to do and give him a chance to get his feet wet here in a position he's familiar with. Again, this is why we talk. He's played a ton of center going before he went to Michigan, so I know that. But for 2 full years, he's played on the wing, and I think to start a kid out and ask him to take a center position in the NHL would be pretty tough. Now, I'm not sitting here saying we won't do it in the next few games, but we're one practice in, so I'm not going to make a lot of decisions yet. I'm going to watch him real close in practices and games and see how he's grasping things, and we'll go from there.
And on Blankenburg, people, do you even care about a defenseman's height and weight anymore? It used to be such a big part of the evaluation, but if you look around the league now, you see so many guys that don't conform to the previous standards of what was expected of a defenseman. Is it not that big a deal to you anymore, or do you still weigh what this kid can be able to do based upon his height and weight?
Well, I'm certainly not going to pigeonhole him because he's a smaller statured defenseman. It was interesting listening to him talk his story, his journey, kind of to how he got to where he got to today. And I'd heard it, but I like to hear it from him first. And I encourage you guys to talk to him because it's a really neat story. He's had to work for everything he has. And he didn't get here today to realize he's small. I think he knows he's small. I don't think that's any news to him. I think that's probably what's made him the player he is. And to walk into a program like Michigan, you know, and wear a letter by your second year, be a captain by your third year, lead a team there's a lot of high-end prospects and draft picks on that team. That says a lot about, I think, his character and who he is, how he goes about his business. So I'm real intrigued to watch him play. You know, when he's going to get in, and Kent, I'll make that decision here midweek, but I'm going to be watching him close because, you know, I think competitiveness was one of the first things that came out of his mouth, and I love to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll close up with Mark Schreck. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Glenn. Brad, new week, so is there any new update you can share on Boone Jenner and then Igor Chinikov at all?
Still day-to-day, week-to-week with both those guys.
Okay, and then my last question then is just Gus Nyquist. You know, with Corrali out, he's only one of the two that's been able to play in every game this season, an obvious testament to him. And then he was put up on the Roslovic and Lyon line. That line, obviously, you mentioned was outstanding on Saturday night. Just overall, Nyquist year, how the impact he's been able to have on your team, just how important has he been, especially stabilizing that line with Roslovic and Line?
Well, if you look at Gus's history, he's played a ton of hockey. Last year is you know, not the norm for him. He's been a very healthy player his whole career, so it was kind of a fish out of water for him being injured last year. You know, we've talked. He had I thought, a little bit of a slow start, but I mean, it was to be expected. There's the timing element, and you miss a year of hockey, you're playing catch up. I don't care who you are, and it's really tough to do that. So I thought he found his game after about 6-7 weeks, and he's played really consistent for me for a long time. And one thing about him is his effort's usually there. He's a competitor. He makes his teammates better the way he distributes the puck. So, you know, and I've used him with Patty and those guys before, and I've liked what I've seen, and sometimes we'll mix and match. But I thought those two do have a little bit of chemistry. I thought the line was very important, obviously, for us in that game, and you know, we'll continue to see how it looks like down the stretch here.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
All right, welcome, Kent. Obvious question, first day. Just how did it feel out there? What was the experience like to be on the NHL ice for the first time?
Yeah, it was really fun. Good practice there. It was good to just get comfortable. Felt better as the practice went on for sure. So it was really fun.
Yeah, you've obviously done some pretty impressive things this year, Frozen Four, Olympics, things like that. But this is, first crack at the NHL. I mean, what does this feel bigger? Does this feel different in any way than some of the things you've done previous to this?
Yeah, definitely a lot different. Probably a bit bigger, but it's all important. So yeah, it's all pretty cool.
Through some of those experiences you've had this year, I'm sure you've gotten to play against some really good players. You've gotten some experiences and things under your belt. What have you learned from a lot of the different places you've gone this year, different places you've played?
Yeah, I think everywhere I've learned something, and just little things from different guys. And I think big one is just confidence. Just staying confident, believing in yourself is going to be huge.
And what do you kind of want to show out there? Do you just want to play your game? And if so, I guess what is your game?
Yeah, I think just help the team win any way I can. See what role I'm given in the game and just do what I can with that, and yeah, we'll see.
Kent, obviously you've been on the ice with a lot of elite players, but as Jeff mentioned, your first NHL practice, anything about it different for you? The speed of the game, the quickness, any of that, even though it was just a practice?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely the best group of players, and competing a lot harder than maybe summer skates or whatnot when I'm on with some other really talented players. So yeah, it was really good, but obviously same game out there, just moved a little bit faster, so it was good.
And again, just a practice, but were there some nerves? Did you have a little butterflies in the stomach going out there to take this?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. I think, first rep was tough for me. I don't know what was going on, so after that, maybe a little nervous, but yeah, it was all good.
Go to Zoom. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. You got like 5 to 6 starts.
Sorry, Glenn. Jeez. Now I lost my train of thought. How much of those experiences you've had throughout this year, do you feel like a much better player maybe now than you were a year ago, just because you have, obviously you got another season of Michigan, you can play against, men at the Olympics, things like that, World Juniors. I mean, how much has that helped you get to where you are now?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, put too much work in the last year to be the same player, so I definitely feel a lot better.
Are you just eager to see how this goes? Just curious to see how you say you've played against some pretty high level guys, but just want to see how it ends up going?
No, yeah, I'm just really excited. Like every time on the ice, like I'm already, wanting it to be tomorrow's practice again. So, yeah, definitely just really fun and exciting.
You good, Jeff? I'm good. Yeah. Jeff? Okay. I'll go to Aaron. Port side. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, thanks, Glenn. I just say, Ken, sorry I couldn't be there today. It had to be a tough loss for you guys on Thursday. I'm wondering if this experience and being here, joining your NHL team and sort of looking forward so quickly, if that helps you get over sort of the heartbreak of that game against Denver.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously it's a tough one there, but it's obviously harder to be thinking about it when you're on the ice here with the Blue Jackets. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and your thoughts on Coach Brad Larson starting you on the wing? I know you've talked about your comfort level at center. You think you'll get there eventually, or is this just a starting point for you? How do you feel about starting on the wing?
Yeah, I feel great about it. I mean, I think it probably makes sense, coming, played the wing all year at college, so and at the Olympics, so I think it makes sense. But I think I'm pretty confident in my ability to play center if I need to down the road.
Yeah. And do you know if you're going to play Wednesday? Is that your expectation?
I'm not 100% sure yet, so I don't know.
Thank you.
Go to Mark Scheig. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Glenn. Kent, just how chaotic has the last 72 plus hours been from the end of the game to this point? Just all the hustle and bustle of getting ready for the experience.
Yeah, no, definitely pretty hectic, but I think yesterday was pretty relaxing, just off day for the team. So obviously just got to Columbus and was in the hotel for most of the day, so it was nice and relaxing.
And in my last one, can you put into your own words just how happy you were to see Nick Blankenburg join the team as well? Just your experience with him as the team captain there and just how good of a person he ultimately is.
Yeah, no, I was so excited. Like when Columbus first started talking to him and asked me about him, I was, obviously really hoping he'd pick Columbus. So I was just really excited that it all worked out.
Just picking up on that, being able to go through this with Nick, has that made the whole, I mean, you wouldn't know what it's like to be by yourself if you hadn't done this, but has it made the whole thing a little bit easier to have a guy to bounce thing off of and go through this together?
Yeah, 100%. Like I know when we were watching the game together in Detroit, like we were joking about how lonely Owen must be by himself there in Buffalo, so it's pretty nice to go through with him.
And have there been, I mean, you've gone through so many different steps. Has any one of them stood out as, okay, now we're here, now we've kind of arrived? Any little moment like that?
Yeah, probably today, just getting on the ice and working out before practice. Really felt like I was, part of the team.
Say last one from me. Just curious what the welcome's been like from teammates, coaches, stuff like that. What's been your thoughts on your first interactions with everyone so far?
Yeah, it's been great. The guys seem really nice and welcoming, so they've made it easy.
Was it cool I remember on the bus the other day, guys were coming up and introducing themselves. You were talking to them after the game. Was that kind of cool to get that, kind of start, some of those big names, kind of start meeting those guys?
Yeah, no, definitely, and obviously huge they got the win too. It made the bus ride or the plane ride home nicer too, so that was great.
Okay, we'll wrap up with one more Zoom. Go ahead, Derek Harper.
And this team, this fan base is really excited for you. How important is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, you want to play in a market where they love hockey, and I know that's what it's like here in Columbus, so it means a lot to me.
All right. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Recording in progress.
All right. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Any pressure on that last shot out there at the end of practice? You have to make that one, don't you?
Yeah, I think I heard Voracek say, please make it. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but yeah, I was just glad that I made it.
Yeah. Obviously, just day one in the books. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, it was good. The compete was high, and just a fun day, and just another day on the ice, just enjoying it. So happy to be here and thankful to be out there.
What's this like for you after the last 4 years you've had to be an NHL player and get your first practice in?
Yeah, I mean, I think for any kid it's a dream come true, and just being able to be at my first game as on an NHL organization at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, it's pretty cool for a kid who's from Detroit, and just to walk into the rink today and be in the room and just kind of look around and see the guys in the room is pretty special, and it's a great opportunity, so I'm looking forward to it.
Was there a point while you were at Michigan that you started to think like the NHL would be a possibility for you and this might all come together?
Yeah, I mean, I tried not to think about it too much. My heart was set at winning a national championship at Michigan and doing what I could to just be the best teammate and be the best leader that I could be. But yeah, I was just trying to keep my focus on Michigan, and I knew that when the time came, I would hopefully have an opportunity. So,
Nick, what was that first practice like for you in terms of the level of play that you're used to playing with, the talent you're used to being with on the ice and the college level? Did it take a step up today? Could you feel it, even though it was only a practice?
yeah, I think you could feel it. I think obviously college to the NHL is a jump, but kind of like I said at Michigan, we had a lot of good guys on that team too, and a lot of guys who will be in the NHL soon. So definitely made it a little bit easier with the compete days that we had at Michigan and just the guys that we were playing with. But the guys, you can tell, are just really smart with the puck here and really good skaters. So definitely made it a bit more difficult.
And what were your nerves like today, just leading up to it, and then when you actually stepped on the ice, were you a little nervous?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Anytime making the jump here and being around a new group of guys, it's a little nervous. You don't really want to mess up. But it was a good day. Finally,
Going through it with Kent, how nice is it to have another guy to have all of these experiences really since the day you signed, have them together?
Yeah, it's pretty special. We were good buddies back at Michigan. We lived right next to each other, so we were always around watching hockey, and it's just nice to have somebody else to do it with here, whether if that's going out to dinner, going out to lunch, making sure we're both up in the morning, not having to worry about setting 30 alarms or whatnot. And Jake Christensen is actually in the same hotel as us too, and KJ's buddies with him too, so we kind of got three of us, which is nice to have, and just guys to talk to and socialize with and be around and ask questions, so it's good.
I know graduation's a couple weeks away. You finishing up classes. How's all that working out?
Could be a little better. Have exams coming up and have a 10-page paper due in about a week that I got to get going on. So hopefully try and get it done when we're traveling or something like that. So we'll see.
You've had a front row seat for Kent Johnson and all those guys on the Wolverines, obviously, all season long. You've had the opportunity to defend Kent Johnson in practices. What makes him so special for Blue Jackets fans that want to know more?
Yeah, I mean, you can just kind of see during games, and his deception with the puck is unbelievable. And I just think his just the way that he makes guys think he's going one way, and then he'll just be going the complete other way. So I think that's the biggest thing is his deception and his skating and his shot and his ability to shake guys. So he's pretty strong on the puck, which for a guy who's 5'11", 165, 70 pounds, he's pretty hard to knock off the puck, which is pretty special. So excited to watch him play at the next level and happy I get to do it with him.
We've read a little bit about your background and kind of the obstacles you had to overcome and just, kind of overlooked being a smaller guy, things like that. Is it just, you look around now, you're sitting here in an NHL, practice basically. How cool is that for you to see all the things you've kind of gone over that have gotten you to this point? I'm sure they've helped you along the way, probably some as well, just being roadblocks to get by and things that kind of inspired you.
Yeah, I don't really think many people expected me to be here. So just to be here for me personally and believing in myself and having that belief has really helped me along the way. And I think the biggest thing is just competing and just working hard each and every single day, whether if I was playing high school hockey or I was playing midget major or in Michigan or even here. Just try and compete and try to work as hard as I can and have fun. So if I'm not having fun, then why am I playing, So that's the biggest thing is I'm just trying to soak it all in and enjoy it and compete every single day.
Yeah, and you're the captain of Michigan. I know, and anytime that's an honor. But not only that, you had so many great players there. I mean, just what did that mean to you to kind of have that role the last year and get that scholarship? And I mean, it had to really mean a lot to you as a Michigan guy to have that honor.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get to wear the C anywhere in college or in general, it's a pretty great opportunity and was very special to me. And especially being able to be a Michigan guy was a dream come true for me. And kind of like I keep saying this all the time, but all these draft picks and all these guys on our team who are going on to the next level at Michigan, they're not just unbelievable hockey players, but they're great people too. So lifelong friendships that I'll have forever, and really excited to see them go to the next step and have play NHL games soon here. So it should be good.
When did the Blue Jackets start talking to you? Ken mentioned they'd kind of asked him about you, and how did those conversations go? What were they telling you they liked about your game?
Probably around, I'd say, Christmas time. Obviously, the staff watched a lot of Michigan games because of Kent. So I think they were able to see me play a lot throughout just this last year, and reached out around Christmas and met Rick and Yarmo and Basil after one of the games, which is nice and pretty special and cool to meet the GM and obviously a guy like Rick Nash too after games. So just had good conversations with them about opportunity, about coming in here and just trying to do my thing and compete and play my game. So really respected and believed in what they were telling me and what they were saying. So it was just good conversations, and you could tell they really cared and really genuinely had interest. So it was good.
Nick, you've had a lot of moments since Saturday afternoon. Have any of them been call home moments? Oh, I got to tell you about this. I mean, what has stood out over the last 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll call my parents every day and kind of let them know I had a little bit of time yesterday just to kind of reflect and talk to people, whether if that's old teammates or friends or other family too. So pretty cool just having conversations with people and just seeing how much they really care about me and really support me. So a lot of credit to my parents for everything that they've done for me. And yeah, it's definitely nice to call home and have my brother asking about what it was like to meet Patrick Laine or stuff like that. And it's pretty cool today. I was going down on a 2-on-0 and thinking in my head, like, okay, I'm passing it to Laine, like put it on his tape. Like stuff like that's like pretty funny that I'll tell my brother or tell my parents when I give them a call, and they'll laugh about it. So it's good. So I'm just trying to enjoy every moment and try and get better every single day.
Take a few on Zoom. Go ahead, Aaron Fortzloff.
Thanks, Glenn. Nick, welcome to Columbus.
Appreciate it.
When you've been described to me as a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder, and I'm wondering if that chip was put there by the people maybe not thinking you belonged to Michigan and not thinking you belonged as an NHL consideration, et cetera, et cetera. And do you plan to keep that chip there as long as you possibly can? Is that part of your game and your makeup?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of my game is playing with physicality and not being afraid to play physical. But yeah, I think that comes from just kind of growing up and, like you said, having that chip on my shoulder and having an older brother who would toss me around in the basement playing mini six or playing basketball. And obviously when you're the small kid on the block or the small kid in school, you got to fight for everything you get. So I think that's kind of a big thing growing up for me that I was able to learn and able to carry through my career so far. So I definitely plan to continue to do that.
And can you confirm, did an NHL team offer you last year and you turned it down to come back to Michigan?
Yeah, I wanted to. Obviously, being a Michigan guy, I wanted to be the captain of this Michigan my senior year and get my degree and be able to be just a captain of the team that we had with all the guys. So very thankful for my time.
And that team expressing interest was that the first time, or was there a moment before that where you thought an NHL career was possible after college?
I mean, I always kind of thought about it in my head, kind of thinking that I could do it. But I think once that happened is when it really first hit me of, maybe I really can, or maybe I'm not that far off. So I think that was a big step for me to take in terms of development and the way that I thought about my game and where I could take it.
Yeah. And can you say what set the Blue Jackets apart from some of the other teams you had interest from just these last couple of days?
Yeah, I think it's just all my conversations with Yarmo and Basil and the rest of the staff too. And I mean, the culture that they're trying to build here in Columbus is just, they want guys who compete. And I think that's the way I play. I compete every single day. And so that was one of the biggest things for me, and just had honest conversations with them and where they thought I was at and where they wanted me to be. And I think there's just a great opportunity here to play and develop. So.
Thank you.
We'll go to Derek Harper. Go ahead, Derek.
You're obviously new here, but I don't know if you've seen this fan base. They love this team. How big is that for you coming into a city that really loves it?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard a lot of good things about the city and the atmosphere in the rink, so really looking forward to it. And like I said, I've only heard good things about the city of Columbus and the atmosphere here. So.
Okay, we'll close out with Mark Shine. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Glenn. Just, Nick, welcome to Columbus. Just your conversation with Zach Werenski, a fellow Michiganer, fellow defenseman, just your opportunity now to be able to get to know him and learn from him as you go along.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special, especially being able to be a Michigan alumni. And like I said, I've only heard good things about him too, and the way he plays, and not only who he is as a hockey player, but who he is as a person too. And we got a great resource in Brandon Naurato, Michigan's assistant coach who works with Zach over the summer. So they have a really good relationship. So I was able to talk to Naurato a lot about him and just kind of get to pick his brain and everything. So really looking forward to growing a relationship with Zach and the rest of the guys on the team, and should be fun. So I'm really excited.
Recording stopped.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Yep.